What's going on, guys? So this is an update on the skills that are developing with my Claude bot. So yesterday was, if you guys are following along, a day that I was focusing on giving it skills and learning some essentials. So here are 4 things that I learned about the bot. Number 1 is that it's like a baby. It's got to learn a bunch of things and you have to give it access. So learn how to access your own browser, learn how to use Chrome, learn how to use Google Docs and Google Workspace, number 1. Number 2 is you have to understand how the memory system works. So for example, right now I'm having a conversation with Amanda and it's looking into my system and trying to understand how to look at threads. So basically you'll have a conversation, it'll close out that context window. So I'm telling it to go back and understand what thread, if I tell it a timestamp, were we talking about something, so it can actually use our chat history, not just a file folder that it uses for its memory. And this is going to be able to say, hey, what we talked about yesterday around 6 p.m., look back at that, reference that. So you got to understand how the memory works on this thing. It has like different folders that it creates for like long-term memory, short-term memory, like different things like that. And so that's really what I've been trying to understand, because I'm trying to ask it questions. Hey, how's that thing that we did yesterday? How's this? It learns lessons and you have to tell it to go and put this into its memory storage. So I'm really getting a feel for that because it has to learn. It's not just about the skills, it's about how we work together. And that's been a new thing. Update number 3 is just that I would say it is still more technical, like things did break. So what I do anytime it breaks is I'll go back to the terminal window and then I'll have AI next to it. So I take pictures of the terminal and I paste it into the AI like a Gemini or even Claude Code next to it. And then it can really help somebody who's non-technical fix any bugs. This is a phenomenal experience for me because I've never been able to know what anything means. And so being able to just use screenshots, Gemini works great for this because it can read the image. I know Grok right now, if I paste an image inside of Grok, it doesn't know what that means. So that's been a really helpful thing for me to essentially unlock any bug. Now keep in mind that it can fix its own bugs too. So because it kind of shut down on me yesterday for different reasons. So that was the 3rd thing I learned. And the 4th thing I learned is that you want it to always be on. So I did the Ethernet. So my Mac Mini was on the Wi-Fi, but I went ahead and got I just plugged it into the wall. So now it's connected and it always has internet connection. And this helps with latency. So I didn't know this, but it taught me this, that sometimes the Wi-Fi latency will actually slow down and time out the response that I get. So now that it's connected to the wall, it's very snappy and quick. I did look at different models. The one that I'm using is I always forget the freaking name, Oculus 4.5, I always forget the name. But the newest Anthropic model, it's the best, but it's also slightly slower, and its context window isn't the best. So I think Sonnet has a much longer context window. But when I was talking to my bot, it said that I would have to tell it which model to use when. So I'm just gonna let it continue to use 4.5. I'm gonna keep an eye on the cost, and then maybe at some point I'm gonna make different rules and skills so that it uses more affordable models when it makes sense, and the more expensive models when it makes sense as well. But I'm a little bit attached to the personality. I'm kind of getting used to the 4.5 model. So I'm going to leave it alone for now, but that certainly may change. So yeah, if you guys want to, again, follow along with the skills, I feel like I'm just scratching the surface. If it can use the internet, use Google Docs, recall its own memory, know who I am, those are really the basics. And so I'm really investing a lot of time into this because I think the long-term output's going to be pretty great. What I did also do, one last little bonus fact, is that I fed it a lot of our call recording transcripts, my company's, and it came up with on its own, a pen path operating system. So it's got everybody, how I think, what I like, what our culture is, and it was really, really cool. It's overall, it's like incredible. It's got a few little things to change. And now I'm wondering how I can use this sort of operating system into its long-term files. So as I need more things about about my company and what we do, it can reference that. So I don't know how it'll be used as a foundational document yet, but obviously this kind of stuff is what I'm really interested in building on top of, because I can say, here's what PenPath is and does, you already know, now do this thing knowing what you already know. And I think that's where incredible value is unlocked, because it's very difficult for humans to do this perfectly well. And the idea is that this is going to do it in a way that makes a lot of sense, right? Quick example of that is a sales call. If I need sales notes, if I wanted to research somebody, it can do it through the lens and eyes of PenPath, and it now knows how I think, like, and do. So pretty interesting stuff. I'm still very excited. I'm still very impressed, and I'll keep you guys posted on the next update.